Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to create your own sales CRM inside Gmail and Gsuite. It's basically free because if you're already probably using Gmail, Gsuite anyway, right? I mean, you could basically replicate the functionalities of CRM just using labels. Okay, let me kind of show you. So if you guys don't know what a CRM is, well, if you're watching this, I'm assuming you know somewhat what a CRM is. Anyway, CRM is basically customer relation management. Basically means what you said to whom and when you said it and what's the next steps, right? And you have to keep track of this because you're not saying the same thing to exact same set of people, and you're kind of doing this on a sequential basis, right? So you kind of have to know, what did you say? What's the next steps, right? But problem with CRM is like they're really complex. I haven't seen a really great one, and there's simpler ways to do it. And here, this is the way. Now, let me explain what a pipeline is first. So a sales pipeline is basically, set of steps that your prospect has to go through in order for them to be qualified as a customer, right? So you might initially do an outreach, right? Contact them, and then use some qualification like, are they in the market for this thing that you're selling? And then you might ask for a meeting. They might ask for a proposal. You send the proposal, and then he'll say yes or no. And he becomes your customer, great. Now you can kind of upsell him and things like that. So if you think about it, everybody goes through each and every step, right? So you just have to keep track of, what did you say, who did you say it to, and what's the next thing, right? Of course, if you're dealing with like a couple hundred candidates, right, it's gonna be impossible, right? There's things going back and forth. There's some delays and things like that. So if you think about it, right? Labels are exactly that, right? In this picture, I kind of chose this by accident, but these labels kind of look like, the sales pipeline stages. Those things look like kind of like labels, right? So let me show you a small pipeline that I'm personally using with labels. Here's our steps in this particular organization. I'll do an outreach to a prospect, and then the prospect will respond with I'm interested. Then he becomes a lead. Oh, so technically, that chart is wrong. It should just be prospect to lead to phone call to customer. But that's basically one of the simplest pipelines, right? It's very simple, right? You do an outreach, you say something, and then he's like yes or no. Then you say, hey, can we meet over a Zoom call or phone call or whatever? And then you do your pitch, right? And you do whatever your sales process is. And then if he's interested, it becomes your customer. Very simple, right? So let me show you how that works on an actual Gmail account. So this is an actual account that I personally use, right? So I just sent myself this bogus email. So let's say this person, right, this TK person, right, is an inbound lead anyway. So now you have to keep track, right? So remember, going back to this, now he's a lead, right? So what I have is I create a bunch of leads over here on the left. Make sure you can see it. So I have labels. One's called customer. It says lead, lost, no coverage, phone request, prospect. I have these labels already color coded, right? Use color because colors are super effective visually, and I have already set up. So now this guy's a lead, right? So what I do is I click on lead, right? And then I say, whatever I gotta say, I say blah blah blah, right? I don't know, right? Whatever you say, right? So that's how you keep track. So what's the benefit of doing this? Okay, now let me go back to the inbox, right? Now I have all these color-coded things, right? Now I can see who these people are and where they are in the pipeline. So for example, I have this thing called stats sent, right? Because this thing that we sell, we have to send them statistics of like the product, right? So let's say I want to know how many prospects we have in the sales pipeline currently, right? So now these are the people in the sales pipeline that are tagged with the word prospect or phone request, right? Now I can see how many people in the sales pipeline that I have to talk to in this particular stage, right? Let's go to the first one, lead. If I click on lead, now it shows me all the people in the sales pipeline that are tagged under lead, the very first one, right? And I have a lot. I have like 360, right? I mean, I'm not gonna keep track of every one of them. So these are labeled leads. So how can you tell, the fresh leads from the old leads? It's very simple. You just use a Gmail tag. So Gmail has this Gmail search tags. I think it's newer than, older than, or something like that. Yeah, here you go. Search operators. The Gmail has these search operators where you can actually search for people based on that, right? So let's say I want to look for leads, people in the lead phase, right? But they are like older than, let's say, older than 3 days. That means I gotta reach out to them before they get cold, right? Because it's been older than 3 days, and it tells you exactly how many right here. You see, if I scroll, so there's a lot of them, right? So, and I want to know, and these are the people that I have to actually outreach to one by one. And by the way, if you are watching this and you're wondering, wow, this is great, and I want to reach out to one of these people one by one. I mean, what's the common sense? You just click on this, and then you just reply, and then you go to the next one, and then you reply, and then you go to the next one, and you go to, I mean, that's going to be crazy, right? So Get Sales Fox actually has a way to do that. We can actually outreach to everybody, and it looks like you personalized the reply one by one based on your search criteria. Take a look at that video. I'll put a link to the video on the bottom. So that's pretty much how you do it. You based on these tags, right? When they come in, you add a tag or you remove a tag. Let's go back to that one, right? Let's say this guy now, he's a prospect, right? He's now a prospect, okay? But then somehow you lose a lead. Now he's a prospect. You can remove that, and then later he becomes a customer or something, right? Customer, and then you can remove that tag. So now you can see, just using tags, you can take people from one stage to the next. But the only thing you have to do is just make sure to add remove tags. That's it. And now you know exactly how many people and who are actually in each step of the stage just by clicking on prospect, clicking on lead, right? Clicking on lost. Actually, I don't have that lost. I don't know why I have that. But some people are saying like, hey, please follow up with me, but take your time, like months, weeks later, right? And what you can do is just create a separate tag, just call it lead slow follow up or something like that. So anyway, now you can see the power of labels, right? Very simple. All you have to do is just define a bunch of labels, and then as your leads come in, you just tag them and then remove them. It's very simple. This will make your sales job a lot easier, and you don't have to do all this clunky CRM stuff. I hope this was useful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, and if you want to know how to automate these replies, because once you start doing the pipeline stuff, right? Like for example, my pipeline, I have 359. I'm not gonna reply to everyone one by one. That's just gonna be crazy. Get Sales Fox has a solution for that, so that you can do massive follow-ups. I mean, you'll never lose people in this pipeline. Like I have not lost one single person using this stuff plus the Get Sales Fox automation. So this will make your job a lot easier, and you won't lose a lead basically. And that's pretty much it. And this is growth hacking, sales 101. I mean, there are a lot of other tools and tips that I'll be uploading, so keep an eye on that, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't also, and I'll see you in the next video.